Ah, je suis content que tu aies cliqué sur la vidéo. Moi, je pense pas que le subjonctif, ça soit si dur que ça. Mais reste attentif quand même, parce que c'est très important. Those few sentences that I said in French were in the subjunctive mood, not the indicative mood. If you didn't understand them, that's okay. I'm here to explain you how they work, and how to form them and when to use them. Hi, my name is Luca Leandri. I am passionate about languages and also about teaching French. My goal is to make French accessible to everyone and prove that it is not a hard language to learn. So if you embark that journey that is learning French, subscribe to my channel and follow me on TikTok. I'm posting daily on there, and I will make more videos like this on YouTube. All right, let's get started. So, when you start learning French, when you start learning conjugation, you express yourself in the indicative mood, right? So, it's the mood that is used to describe a reality or something that is certain to happen. So, for example, if you say, je vais à l'école tous les jours, indicative. Demain, je prendrai le bus, indicative. Je m'appelle Lucas, indicative. And the subjunctive is here for when you want to express something that is not certain, that you can doubt upon. So if you want to express a wish, an emotion, a regret, an order, a possibility, essentially, you use a subjunctive mood. Now I'm going to tell you how to form it. It's not that hard. But first, I need to tell you that it's a mood. It's not a tense, right? It's like a little space inside the language that is for the actions that are not certain. So there are 4 tenses in the subjunctive mood: the present, the past, and 2 others that died, like many other tenses in French. So I won't tell you about those ones. You take the verb in its infinitive form and you take the stem. So for example, manger, the stem of manger is M-A-N-G, mang. The stem for mettre is M-E-T-T. The stem for courir is C-O-U-R. You get it. And then at the end of the stem, you stick the right termination depending on the pronoun. So if it's je, it will be I. If it's tu, I-S. Il, I. Nous is I-O-N-S. Vous, I-E-Z. And finally, il, elle, plural, E-N-T. But there are 2 irregular verbs that don't follow that rule, and they are to have and to be, the 2 French auxiliaries. And I'm going to give them to you so that you know them, as they're very important, and I suggest that you would learn them by heart, as you will need them all the time, trust me. So, to be: que je sois, que tu sois, qu'il soit, que nous soyons, que vous soyez, qu'il soit. To have: que j'ai, que tu aies, qu'il ait, que nous ayons, que vous ayez, qu'ils aient. For a regular verb like manger, this would give: que je mange, que tu manges, qu'il mange, que nous mangions, que vous mangiez, qu'il mange. But there is a but. Not all of the stems are the same in the indicative mood as they are in the subjunctive mood. They are irregulars. You didn't think it was going to be that easy, did you? The bad news about that is that you cannot find them intuitively. You have to know them, at least at first. I will give you the most common ones, and the other ones you will be able to know, and as you get some language exposure with reading and listening to French. Vouloir is veuille. Pouvoir, puisse. Aller, aille. Venir, vienne. Connaître, connaisse. Finir, finisse. Valoir, vaille. Pleuvoir, pleuve. Little pro tip here: if you notice that the verb has an IR at the end, there is a good chance that its subjunctive would be normal stem, and then you add a double S at the end. So for example, finir, finisse, that works well. Réfléchir, réfléchissent. But not all of them. Alright, let's move on to examples now. Je pense pas que tu aies raison. Je pense pas is I don't think so. So this expresses a doubt. Therefore, we use the subjunctive present tense. I don't think that you're right. Je ne pense pas que tu aies raison. C'est possible que j'aille vivre à l'étranger. C'est possible means it's possible. So it expresses a possibility. Therefore, subjunctive present tense. Aille instead of va, v. Il faut que tu sois actif pour être en bonne santé. This is also a condition, an obligation. And il faut que tu sois. Sois is at the subjunctive present tense. Je regrette que tu partes. Part is also subjunctive present. Je pense pas que tu le fasses exprès. I don't think you're doing it on purpose. Fasses is in the subjunctive present. Tu fais que tu fasses. And I'm going to give you two little mistakes that are easy to make. If you say je pense que tu aies raison, je pense pas expresses a doubt, but je pense is certain. So you don't use the subjunctive mood here, but the indicative. Je suis content que je sois là. This is another mistake. If the subject in the first primary clause, je suis content, is the same as in the subordinate clause, que je sois là, then you don't use subjunctive. It's actually je suis content d'être là. But if the subjects are different, je suis content que tu sois là, then you use the subjunctive. Lastly, I will go over the subjunctive past tense. It's a little bit easier as it is a composed tense, but it's hard to know when to use it. That's where the difficulty lies here. The subjunctive past, like I said, is composed of the auxiliary avoir or être, depending on the verbs. It's like the passé composé. You put it at the subjunctive present tense, and then after that you use the past participle of the verb of the action. So for example, aimer is aimer, it's past participle, but with a little accent. And vouloir, voulu, pouvoir, pu, etc. That's how you form it, but what's tricky is to know when to use it. So I will try to explain that as best as possible. You use the past subjunctive tense when the action in the subordinate happens before the action in the main clause. Alright? But the main clause has to be in the present tense. I'm going to give you an example here to make it a little bit clearer. Je suis content que tu aies décidé de faire ça. I'm happy that you decided to do that. The main clause is I'm happy. The subordinate is that you did this. That you decided to do this. It happens before, so to make sense in terms of temporality, you use the past tense of the subjunctive. Do you really need to know the subjunctive mood? At first, no, but once you want to say things that are a little bit more elaborate, and once you want to express some more complex ideas, yes, you do. Because if you don't use it, it doesn't make a lot of sense. You will confuse people. English does have a subjunctive mood too. It's actually important just as well. But because the stems are the same in the indicative as in the subjunctive moods, you don't really notice it. It's pretty transparent. Well, in most cases. What's hard is not how to form the subjunctive, because that's just remembering, that's just memorizing. What's hard is to find out when to use it. And believe me, at first you're going to make some mistakes, but that's okay. You have to go through this. It's part of language learning. once you will have made those mistakes, once you will remember them, there will come a point where, after maybe a few embarrassments, but people are pretty comprehensive, there will come a point where you will reach fluency. You have to believe in yourself, keep trying, your brain will learn. Thank you for watching my video. I really appreciate that you watched till the very end. If you have any questions, you may ask them in the comment sections down below. Keep trying, keep learning languages, and I will see you next time.